Well, good morning, girls and boys. Thank you so much for coming up to join me at the front. Really good to see you all. Now, the story I have to share with you this morning, apparently it is a true story. So it's not a made-up story, it's not a fairy tale. Apparently it's a true story. And it comes from a country called England. You maybe have heard of England. Yeah, a country on the other side of the world. Australia's got lots of links with England. And it's a story about two brothers. And these two brothers lived in a little village in the English countryside. And early on, when they were quite small, they started to steal things. You know what stealing is? Yeah. We're not, God says not to steal. We're not to take of things that aren't our own. Well, these boys, these two brothers, started to steal things. At the start, it was just little things, from their parents, from their neighbors. But they never got caught. And so they thought they were so clever that they would never, ever get caught. But one day, they went too far. And they actually stole a sheep from a neighboring farm. Now, I don't know why they wanted to steal a sheep. I don't know what they were going to do with it. But they were very soon discovered. And they were brought before the local judge. And the judge said that they were to be branded on the forehead with a red-hot iron with the letters ST, meaning sheep thief. Now, that sounds a pretty terrible punishment, a red-hot iron against your forehead. But stealing a sheep could have made the difference between one family having a lot to eat and having nothing to eat. The people reckoned, well, the pain will wear off eventually. And it's important that other people knew that these two brothers were thieves. So these two brothers were branded on the forehead with the letters ST. Well, once the pain had worn off, the two brothers were talking to each other one day. And one of the brothers said, I'm not going to stay here. There's no point in me staying here because people know I'm a thief. I don't want people just whenever they see me to know that I'm a thief, so I'm going to leave here. I'm going to go to another country. And the other brother said, well, yeah, I can understand why you want to do that. But look, I'm really ashamed. I'm really sorry for what I've done. And I'm going to try and start again, live better, and hopefully through time, people will accept me and realize that I've changed. Well, the other brother shook his head and said, well, wish you luck. And he went off to another country. Now, girls and boys, it's very exciting going to another country for a holiday, but it's actually quite a difference actually living in that country. Maybe people speak a different language, they have a different way of doing things. And this brother just couldn't settle down in this country. So he moved to another country. Same thing happened. People were a bit suspicious of the letters ST on his forehead, didn't understand what those letters meant. And that's what this brother did for the rest of his life. He moved from one place to another, didn't really make any friends. And sadly, eventually he died. And no one ever visited his grave because he had never made any friends. The brother who stayed at home, who stayed in the village, at the start, people didn't trust him. If he was walking in the street and there were children playing in the street and their mothers saw the brother coming towards them, they would take their children inside. People were very suspicious of him and they were waiting for him to steal again. But he started his own business, and through time, people realized that he had changed, that he wasn't a thief anymore. And so he helped people with his advice, with his skills. He became a really valued person in that village, in that district. Well, many, many years passed, and one day a visitor came to that village, and as he was walking along the street, he saw this old man with gray hair and a gray beard, and the letters ST on his forehead. And the visitor thought, I wonder what those letters mean. And so there was a little boy coming up towards him, and he said, "Tell me, you see that old man over there? What do the letters ST stand for?" And the little boy said, "Well, I don't know. All I know is that apparently it happened a long time ago, but all I know is that old man is a really good man. He's so kind, and he's so friendly, and he's so helpful." And then the little boy clicked his fingers and he said, "I know what ST stands for." And I wonder, girls and boys, if you can guess what ST stands for. That ST is the shortened version for a word that means a very good and kind person.
Saint.
Well done. A saint. That's right. If you're passing along some schools or churches, you've probably seen the word saint, ST. And that's the story of how a sheep thief became a saint. He was changed. Now, hopefully you and I will never steal things, but that's what God wants to do for you and me. He wants to change us so that we would be saints, that we would be kind, friendly, helpful people, saints. That's what he wants to do for us. And he does that by his grace, by his love. And that's what we're going to talk a bit about in the big story. All right? But thank you so much for coming up to join me, and thank you for listening so well. Okay.